on New Dawn, and the program continues. Like you know the topic already from Biodun and Miriam. It's about the unending fuel crisis. It's as though ever since Nigeria got in the discovered oil, crisis of oil has never seemed to go away. We are one of the richest, biggest producer of crude oil, but yet we are the one of those that pay the highest, so to speak, when it comes to consumption of this product that comes from crude oil. Now that's what we want to discuss, and everything that's attached to it. And we have joining us in the studio, Engineer TAJUDEEN OLORI, oil and gas experts. He will be dissecting this topic with us. Engineer OLORI, welcome to New Dawn, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Right,
good morning to all our viewers.
All right, thank you very much, sir. We also have joining us via Zoom in the course of the program, Rafiu NIYI OSHIYEMI. He's MOSIMI President and immediate past Assistant Secretary of IPMAN, MOSIMI Depot. He will join us via Zoom in the course of the program. But the program has to start, and we are starting right away. Simias.
All right, because we're discussing on ending fuel crisis, maybe we should start with your own perception as to why we continue to have crisis in the oil and gas industry, why this is persistent. You know, leaders have come to want to solve the problem, and the most recent one is the removal of subsidy, which a lot had been said about before the final removal of it in the last 1 year, one year plus. You know, the current administration, when it came in, and it talked about subsidies gone, which is prior to what we're having as economic crisis in the country right now. So can you tell us a bit about a background to that reality in Nigeria?
All right, thank you very much. I think in the introduction, the gentleman on my right said something about we are the largest and we are the one that is paying almost the highest.
Arguably the highest. Yes.
I think I want to differ on that one, because if you look at the prices all over the world, we are not the one that is paying the highest. Of course, we are not supposed to be paying as much as we are paying, but we are not the one that is paying the highest. I will challenge you guys to go around and collate the prices of these products, petroleum products, all over the world. Yeah, but when we talk about Nigeria, yes, we discovered oil and we are supposed to be enjoying it. The problem started the day we started the introduction of subsidy in Nigeria, because that was what led to the problems we are experiencing, which is the problem of corruption. We are not talking about scarcity of this product in this country. If we talk about self-sufficiency, we should have it in this country. But because of corruption, interest of some people, some individuals, or let me say a clique, because it's not only 1 or 2 people that are involved in this problem that we are experiencing. It is the subsidies, so people are benefiting from subsidy to that extent that they don't want the subsidy to go. And there is no way we can move forward the way we are in this country without removing the subsidy. But yeah, subsidy has been removed, but there are some other things that are supposed to have been put in place which are not in place. And that's why all of us are crying, we are making noise, we are shouting about it. There's no time that the price of petroleum products have been increased in Nigeria that we don't have crisis. Right from the days of Babangida up till this moment, you know that the price of petroleum products has continued to increase. And it will continue to increase as long as our economy is not buoyant, is not healthy enough. Because what is making the prices to go up is our exchange rate. Removing the subsidy on its own shouldn't be this biting. But because The economy is not that good. I think in the course of our discussion, we can talk about some of the problems that we have in the oil and gas.
When you said subsidy removal, it's what should happen, and that there are things that ought to have been put in place, you discover that the voices of those that were talking about the removal were more like louder than that of those that were saying that you have to put things in place, certain realities in place before you act to remove subsidy in Nigeria. So why do we not have that voice louder in terms of you have to remove it, but these are things that should come before the removal or the final removal? The attention was largely on the removal, not knowing that this is how the entire picture would look like years after the removal.
No, I think it is not about the removal alone, because even the president that we have now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, did an analysis before he became the president, when he was outside, and he talked about the effect, the biting effect that removal of subsidy will have on the economy. And I'm surprised that he has come to the seat and is not putting all those things in place to cushion those effects. People will remember some years back when Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu then was talking about the hardship, the effect on the prices, on transportation, on very many things. But now he has come in, and from day one, okay, some of us can understand why he said subsidy is gone. And we shouldn't be surprised, because when he was during the electioneering campaign, he uttered this statement: no matter how long you protest, I will remove subsidy. He made it very clear before we even elected him that the subsidy will go, because there is no sane government that will leave subsidy. The way if you look at the figures just continue to increase. And I think it was during the President Jonathan's regime that Okonjo-Iweala was saying some things about people saying that they have brought 10 cargoes. Meanwhile, the actual number of cargoes that have come to the country is only 2. So you can see the corruption there. But the problem is, why have we not been able to fix our refineries? We have refineries, yes. The refineries that we had in Nigeria could not produce what we are consuming in the country. But why are those ones not, why were they not working? Why was it very difficult for us to refurbish and make them start production? But the thing is, now the situation have changed, and it is very clear that we have some people in the country that will not want subsidy to end, and they will not want the refineries to work. They don't want Nigeria to be self-sufficient when we talk about petroleum products. If you look at things that are unveiling now, it is very, very clear. And I think the government have to be decisive in the way they have to tackle and chart a way forward for Nigeria. But the problem is subsidy. Now you talk about people not talking about the palliatives, even right from the days of President Babangida, we have been talking about palliatives. We talk about rolling out a transportation system and some other things that we were putting in place, but what happened to them? People will still sabotage them. You will see those things for a very few period of time, and those things will go. But we are talking about structure. It is structure that has to be in place. I was discussing with some people that recently I went to the Netherlands, and I got to Amsterdam. I needed to go to my hotel, and I was asking, how do I get there? Some people were telling me, okay, you can take taxi, it will be 35 euros. You can take this, it will be 40-something euros. You can, and I was not happy because I knew I had options. And I went to meet the policeman there. I'm going to so place. How can I go there? I want the cheapest option. And the guy said I should go down and take metro. Do you know that I went to take metro and I didn't pay up to €5? Because they had option. You have the option of a taxi, you have the option of the tram, you have the option of the train, you have the option of the metro. Why can't we have all these things in Nigeria? It's very, very easy for us to have in Nigeria. If our government is very sincere, now we have removed subsidy in Nigeria. Why I still cannot see the move to make sure that milking us dry. You see what is happening with Dangote. Dangote can produce what we need in Nigeria. And it is after Dangote have commissioned the refinery that some people are saying we don't want Dangote to enjoy a monopoly. But you can encourage monopoly of importation. So that alone is an eye-opener to this problem in Nigeria. When President Obasanjo was leaving, he sold the refineries. But this same set of people went to convince President Yar'Adua and they brought back the refineries. Since the refineries have been brought back to this country, have they worked? And we continue to pump money there. That is to tell you that there are some people came up and said, now I want to build a refinery. They thought he would not be able to build it. Now he has built the refineries. Then you now started starving that refinery of crude. Now, and you want the refinery to go and buy crude from a third party. How do you do that? How do you make it easy for the citizens of Nigeria? So the president has intervened and said that okay, let us sell crude to Dangote refinery and some other refineries that are coming up, so that we can benefit in this country. Now, NNPC is not patronizing petrol. Some other people, some other marketers started producing PMS. So if you are not patronizing, what do you expect Dangote refinery to do?
PMS.
Yep.
And told us that they will start producing. One thing was struck out to me, and the fact that the PMS that Dangote brought forward is almost colorless, almost like water. But the one with your engines and your vehicles to last longer, does that confirm what people are saying, that what they import to this country as PMS is adulterated?
Yeah, I'm surprised that you're asking this question. There was a time that we had problems in this country, and they did the analysis of the PMS that we had in Nigeria, and you were talking about too much sulfur in it. Because some things have changed hands, people will not make much noise about it. If you are talking about the color, what is the color in the PMS that you are talking about? Even the smell that you have is deliberately added so that you will know that if there is a leak, you know that, okay, there is a spill of PMS here. That smell did not come with it. It is deliberately introduced into it so that it will serve as a safety measure. Because if you have PMS leaked into this room, it will begin to vaporize, and the vapor will fill this room. If you have any source of ignition, it will ignite and there will be fire. But if you are aware with the smell that, okay, PMS have leaked into this room, you will find a way to aerate the room, put air into it, dilute it in such a way that it will not be that concentrated to that point that it can ignite. So the smell was added. Some of the colors that you have in it, they are as a result of some other products, impurities that you have in it. I know, I don't want to mention names of some companies. When you look at diesel have different colors. If you are used to buying diesel, you will see some that will look like it's colorless. You will see some that will be tending towards the color of crude. You will see some that will be, how do I describe, like wine. So it doesn't mean that those ones are not okay. So if you look at the Dangote, I've not seen the crude from Dangote refineries.
He showed us during the conference.
The thing is, there are people that will do the analysis. Let them do the analysis and tell us that that is substandard. Because some of these guys have gone to say that the diesel that Dangote is producing is substandard. But other people have come to do the analysis and they say it's one of the best that you have in the world. So we shouldn't allow some people to come and begin to deceive us. You know, when you start campaign of calumny, you want to destroy something. They say you call dog a bad name to hang it, so that people will become skeptical about what is coming out of it. But I can tell you that what is coming out from the Dangote refinery is pure.
What benefit do we have to derive from this? Now that almost the same day Dangote inaugurated his PMS, almost the same day NNPCL increased its pump price, and it's now like, what are we doing for Nigerians? You have to pay almost 900, 1,000 naira for a liter of petrol, and what should be the solution is coming at the same time.
I think we have to be very realistic. Our exchange rate continues to go bad. The exchange rate, the last time I knew about the dollar was 1,500. I don't know, 100 and something in the days of Baba Abasojo. It was 100 and something, but it has gone as high as 150 something, 1,500 and something to a dollar. If it continues to go high and you are importing, you expect the price to go up. That's why when some people were saying there was nothing like subsidy, we know that those people were deceiving Nigerians. And some Nigerians believe them. Even the last president that we had, President Buhari, when he was campaigning, he said anybody that says that there is subsidy is a thief. But we all saw when he became the president that he was implementing subsidy, and he couldn't remove the subsidy. He made attempts to remove the subsidy, he could not remove the subsidy. So we had subsidy. There's subsidy in this on petroleum. Now this man has removed it. You are now importing. Our refineries are not working. You are importing at international market price. You expect the subsidy to continue to go up. Now NNPC, because of this Petroleum Act, Petroleum Industry Act, makes them a limited liability company. They want to make profit. Now, if you are importing at very high price and you come in and you are selling at 580, 600, so what do you expect? They have now come out to tell us that we are running into debt, and that's why they increase their price. But if we embrace Dangote, if we encourage Dangote to produce more, then the cost of importation, the cost of all these levies and taxes will go, and the prices in this country will go down. But when that happens, those people that are feeding fat in petroleum subsidy, they will lose business. They will go out of business. They will not want it to happen. So that's the problem. But if we allow Dangote, the one that NNPC have increased will later come down.
All right. Earlier on we told you that we are expecting a guest to join us via Zoom, Mr. Rafiu Oluwagbemini OSHIYEMI, President of MOSIMI and immediate past President of immediate past Assistant Secretary of IPMAN, MOSIMI Depot. You're welcome to the show, sir. Hello, Mr. OSHIYEMI. Can you hear us?
Thank you very much, sir.
All right. We'll ask you some few questions.
Yes.
First of all, I'm sure you have heard our conversation since we started, but I want to ask you, with the economy that we have right now, do we need another increase in price of petrol?
I can't hear you, sir.
I said with what we have, the economic challenges confronting the nation at the moment, do we need another increase in petrol price right now?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think at this time we don't need the increments right now because of the current hardship that is in the economy.
But doesn't that mean that some subsidy will have to be paid if this is not done by NNPC to cover their costs?
Hello?
I'm saying that doesn't that mean that if NNPC does not increase its price at the way they did, won't government be paying subsidy to bring down the price to the affordability of Nigerians?
I think if NNPC have done what they need to do in making the refinery to work, I don't think they will need to increase the price. So that would have made the price to be a little bit stable where it is. So all this issue of importation, the forex, and other issues are what are really dictating the price. Those are that is what is really affecting the price of the product that is coming into the country.
Okay, Mr. OSHIYEMI, our guest in the studio, Engineer TAJUDEEN OLORI, has been talking about the different cabals, in the oil industry that are making this very difficult for Nigeria to enjoy these resources that we have in abundance. I don't know your reaction to that, and whether or not this time around that we have Dangote refinery coming on board, the problem would be reduced, if not totally eliminated, along the line.
Thank you very much. From what we are reading from the press, Dangote refinery has already told the marketers that NNPC is going to be will be solely in charge of all the products. And for as long as NNPC is still is in charge of all the products, then I think the problem will still continue. So, but I'm an independent petroleum marketer, and with the way we are relating with NNPC, we've made payment for more than 3 months now in the system. We have not been given the products, and the money is in their system there. So if NNPC again is still in charge of Dangote giving us the products, that means some of us will still be shortchanged, some of us will still be left out. So the concentration will be on the NNPC outlet, where they will be putting some the product to sell to the public. And we as well, we are in business to make profit, and we are in business as well to sell. So indirectly we will be competing with the NNPC outlet.
So what kind of structure at this stage do you think you need to work well?
Hello?
Can you hear me? I'm looking, you said if, just like Dangote refinery, just made a declaration that NNPC would still be in charge of, the products right now, be the one to get it out for independent marketers like yours, and you're talking about the challenges you've been facing with NNPC dealing with these issues. What kind of structure do you prefer would work for your own team as a critical stakeholder in the oil and gas industry?
Yeah, I think just as NNPC will be given a very good recognition at Dangote refinery, our own association, Independent Petroleum Marketers of Nigeria, IPMAN, should also be given direct access to the products. We are one, we know our members, and we know how we are going to access our members, and our members know how they are going to access us in terms of payment and in terms of delivery and distribution. So we should be given an equal opportunity. If certain volume is going to NNPC, certain very good proportion of the volume as well should be coming directly to the independent petroleum marketers.
Some Nigerians have been
among our members.
Some Nigerians
so
have been reacting.
We don't necessarily need to now wait until NNPC give us product before we can sell at our different stations.
So when we look at how petrol is being sold at different quarters, some would say that NNPC is still the ones that are actually regulating and of course controlling the way the independent marketers are selling their product, largely in terms of your own profit-driven, what's it called, level. For instance, before now, I was buying, or we were buying ready for 920 naira at different places. Some are selling above that, and of course we have NNPC before yesterday selling for less than 600 naira before they jack the price up. And they are saying that if they allow you, is that kind of dichotomy that we will be having if you also have direct access to Dangote refinery, to be selling it that rate that we're getting it at different. The dynamics now is what we're looking at. What do you say to that?
Thank you very much. If the market is saturated, the price will surely come down. If we have equal opportunity and we are getting at the same rate that Dangote will be selling to NNPC to IPMAN member, we don't have any justification to sell any ridiculous price above what NNPC outlet will be selling. But it's just because of the constraint and the non-availability of the product. So we need to start sourcing outside. When NNPC and the regulatory bodies, when we go to the private depots to go and buy, they are aware and they knew the private depots, the TAPMAN, what they are selling to us, but they are not saying anything about that, and they know the price they are giving it to them. So it's just they are just looking in another direction. You don't expect me to go to a Papa and buy product at 900 and start selling it at 580 or 590, just as the NNPC station is selling. But if the NNPC is giving me the enough product that is needed at my station at the normal price that we agreed on, there's nothing stopping us from selling at what the NNPC asks us to sell. That is just the basic thing that is dictating the price. So
before we come to the studio, looking at the kind of problems we've been having before now we have the best of a new refinery in Nigeria, even though the ones owned by governments are not really working. So do you see any light at the end of the tunnel that this is going to change the game looking forward?
Everything depends on the operation. It all depends on the operation and the availability of the products. Dangote refinery has the capacity to load more than 1,000 trucks in a day. If that opportunity is being maximized, if there is constant loading and the distribution is going on fine, the price will surely come down. But when some people are not being given the products, most of the time, just like we are having the scarcity now, the concentration is going to Abuja, Lagos, Kano, Port Harcourt, loading from southwest there. So when this happens, what happens to motorists that are in Lagos that are around there?
All right. So, Mr. Oshiyemi, we'll come back to you. We'll come back to you in a bit. Let's Engineer Olori address some issues here. First of all, some of us were happy with Dangote Refinery finally producing PMS, but it seems as though the pricing, the sale of those PMS and who they are selling to is not breaking the quote-unquote monopoly that the refinery is. We thought the refinery would break when it came on board. Selling to NNPC only is still retaining the monopoly that we feared, so to speak. Okay.
Yeah, I think we need to understand something. When you have a refinery or a company that is producing continuously, you must have a contract in place. Otherwise, you will produce to tank and you will fill your tank, then you have to shut down. And we know the intricacies of starting up, getting on stream, and you have to shut down. So it's not good for the plant if you have to be operating like that. And that's why you need to have a concrete contract in place. I don't think Dangote Refinery is established to sell to only NNPC. But we are starting from a point. NNPC have already established a contract. You know, in the oil and gas industry, there is a kind of a contract that you call take or pay. If I produce, we have a contract in place, you have to take. If you are not ready to take, you still pay me. Because if you don't take those things, then I have to begin to now look for a place to dispose those products. So I don't know the kind of contract that NNPC has gone into. But as we move on, I am very sure that they will still sell to the independent marketers. I don't know whether the independent marketers have approached Dangote to put a contract in place. NNPC have said that they don't want Dangote to enjoy monopoly. We have some other refineries that are coming up. Even the Port Harcourt refinery that is going through refurbishment, they have started test running their plant. And very soon they will begin to produce. They don't have any option than to produce this time around because they have a competitor. We knew what happened when we had only MTEL. That is when you have NITEL alone. When MTN came on board, Glo came on board, those ones that could not compete, they went underground. It is the same thing that is going to happen because we have some other refineries that are being built in Nigeria. With time, we will be self-sufficient. And the independent marketers will even be choosing, where do I want to buy? Am I going to buy from Dangote, or am I going to buy from this other refinery, or I go and buy from NNPC? So, I think it is something that is evolving.
Okay.
It is something that is evolving. If NNPC is the one that is buying from Dangote now, I think the independent marketers, they have a way of getting it from NNPC because what NNPC is buying is not going to be sold at only the NNPC stations. NNPC has been the one that has been helping in the distribution of this product to the independent marketers as well. So I think it is something that will evolve from, with time. And the independent marketers can also come together, approach Dangote, and enter into contract with Dangote. Dangote will still sell to some other countries outside Nigeria. Because if you have Dangote, you have some other ones that are coming up. So Nigeria cannot consume everything that they are producing. So we will still have more than enough that will be produced in Nigeria. So Dangote coming on stream is a good thing. It's going to break some businesses. Those people that thought that they had a grip on the petroleum product that is coming into this country, they are in for a shocker because the monopoly will be broken. They will lose their business. They cannot continue to punish Nigerians. Federal government have said that, okay, sell to Dangote at Naira rate. Yeah. Now you are selling in Naira. The cost of production will go down. You can, NNPC cannot buy at, say, 500 and you say you want to sell at 800. It's not possible. That's why you have the regulatory bodies there. So the fear of Dangote, the fear of NNPC enjoying that monopoly and trying to exploit Nigerians, that will be broken. Because I know that the Nigerian government, even if they want to maximize profit, Nigerians will not allow them.
Part of what Dangote talked about was the issue of Naira, how to strengthen the Naira, selling that initiative brought by the president saying that you should be getting the crude at Naira rate.
And to sell.
And to sell
in Naira.
In Naira. You talked about other African countries. To strengthen the Naira, should we allow other African countries to be using Naira to purchase our crude or our PMS from Nigeria and other products by Dangote, so that the strength of the Naira across West Africa, for instance, will be very strong?
You know, because we are spending a lot of, we have to look for forex to go and buy the crude from outside. So it's putting pressure on Naira. Now, if we don't have to look for forex to buy the petroleum products here, that will reduce the pressure on Naira. Then the people that are coming from outside to buy, we will sell to them at international market rate, which means that we will now have access to foreign exchange. And that is what will make our Naira to appreciate. So it's a good thing that is happening to Nigeria. And that's why some of us that are seeing all this maneuvering that is happening are not very happy, because there is something, for the first time Nigeria has taken initiative to make sure that our economy improves, and some people are saying no, we will not allow that to happen. But it is just that they will try, but they will not succeed.
All right, Mr. OSHIYEMI, I'm coming back to you. You are the immediate past Assistant Secretary of IPMAN in MOSIMI Depot, and I'm sure you have some few connection with the national leadership of MOSIMI Depot, of IPMAN rather. What is IPMAN doing now to make sure that you have access to the petroleum products that Dangote will be selling? What step is IPMAN taking now? Hello, Mr. OSHIYEMI, can you hear us?
Yeah, thank you very much. I can hear you.
All right, please.
IPMAN, I did not. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now, yes.
Yeah. IPMAN at the national level already collecting the list of all their members. So, and there is already a process already. There is already an arrangement, and there is a discussion going on with Dangote Refinery on how IPMAN as a body will have a very good and very fair allocation on daily basis at the refinery. And as the progress goes on, we allow the public to know what is being given to IPMAN. But we are still working on that. So, and we don't know what the product as well that will be given to NNPC, part of it will be given to IPMAN, to our members. And but the main thing, and why we are complaining that we want our products directly from Dangote is that what is being, the NNPC is not being fair in their distribution, in their allocation formula on what is being given to IPMAN as a body. We are not being, the priority is not being given to us. I think if I will say they prefer to satisfy the major marketers and the dark man first before satisfying IPMAN. And IPMAN, we have the largest coverage. We are all over the country in terms of number and members. So there is already a process that is going on at the national body on how to discuss with Dangote Refinery on how to get product directly from them.
Okay, maybe I should ask this, because of the current crisis that is going on with respect to fuel. Some Nigerians are saying that why take us back to where we started, let there be subsidy. In fact, we know that you're also paying subsidy right now. We can hear you.
We can hear you, sir, but she's trying to ask a question.
So they are saying, some Nigerians are saying that, we know what happened when you were paying subsidy. Now we cannot even afford the basic things of life. And then we're not paying subsidy, but you're paying some kind of cushion because of the exchange rates. Are you also supporting that, or that would mean that...
Hello, I cannot hear you.
Is the question for him or for me?
I'm directing it to you.
Okay.
Please,
Mr. OSHIYEMI, we are coming to you.
I'm coming
Please
to you.
hold on.
This is just how Nigerians have been reacting to this issue.
You know, people will react to pains. We react to pains different ways, and it is the same thing when you talk about this hardship. The way it's biting people, people will bring different opinions. You know, in Yoruba land, they will say, if you cannot alleviate my suffering, leave me the way I was. So, because of what has happened, the president is doing so many things at the same time.
Okay.
You have removed subsidy. You are trying to fine-tune the foreign exchange in such a way that you will have a single exchange rate. And all these things at the same time, they don't work along with it. It's like you are adding petrol to fire. So the fire will continue to burn. And that's why the masses are talking like this. But the thing is, if we are producing these petroleum products in Nigeria, and we are selling into Nigeria, once we have the distribution, you will see that the price will be coming down. We knew when we started this GSM, we knew how much we were paying. Now, SIM is more or less free. But you know, in those days, to get a SIM, you go and pay like 10,000, 15,000 in those days. So the same thing is going to happen with petrol. It will be more or less like in those days that we had subsidy. We might not go back to the days of 200 naira per litre or 300 naira per litre, because petrol, or let me say petroleum products, are international market products. And so you will want to sell at international market rate. If you want the rate to be very low in Nigeria, it means that NNPC will be selling at a very low rate. That is, they will be selling crude at very low rate to Dangote. And so Dangote will be selling to Nigeria at very low rate. But if you want to sell at the international market price for crude, so they will also want to sell at international market price. But the thing is, the cost of importation, you know, you have to ship it. You will pay for ship. You will pay for offloading. You will pay some levies. All those ones will be gone. And when those ones are removed, you will know that the rate at which we'll be buying it in Nigeria will come down. And so the prices of commodities that have gone high will come down. Of course, Nigerians don't want things to just go down, but by the time we know that the prices have gone down, then the government will come in and maybe enforce some price control for some time for things to come into shape. But then, if we say we should remove, where is the subsidy again? There wouldn't be any subsidy anymore. If Dangote is producing in Nigeria and you are selling it into the market in Nigeria, where is the subsidy? So the subsidy is no longer there. And that's why some people are fighting tooth and nail to make sure that we continue to import. But they will lose.
All right, before I come to ask Nyaroyi my question, Mr. OSHIYEMI,
yes.
Mr. OSHIYEMI, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
All right, the information we have as at this morning is that some tankers are beginning to leave at their Papa depot.